go to this Monday night game, which is also a fascinating game here. AFC's clash. The Buffalo Bills head to New England. Some of the early weather reports are actually decent. Cold, 40 degrees, a little bit of a wind. But overall, these teams are used to that where they play this time of the year. The Bills come in 5-4 record under Rex Ryan. They've been very good against the AFC, 8-3-1 against the spread. And even some of their offensive players are starting to get going here now. And LaShawn McCoy, 4.7 yards per carry. Sammy Watkins has looked good. And Tyrod Taylor is not just a short, safe passer. He's been throwing the ball deep at times. Have extra days to prepare and rest after that Thursday win at the New York Jets. 22-17. The defense was very strong, 276 yards. And Rex did it with the ground attack, rushing for 127 yards. They're 9-4 against the spread against the AFC, but after a win, this has not been a consistent team, 7-19-1 against the spread. So, Harvard, what are we looking at here? A great Buffalo pass rush against a suspect New England offensive line, or we're going to see more of Rex Ryan running his yap with that bravado?
Well, one thing I can predict is Rex Ryan will be running his mouth.
You don't think he's going to shut up this week?
No, I don't think so. Not this week. Buffalo, they have had trouble winning and putting consistent winning streaks. But you know what? Last week, that was number 2 in a row. They looked really energized. That's what I liked about it. Carlos Williams, he's got 6.2 yards for the season on his rushing stats. LaShawn McCoy, 4.7. Sammy Watkins coming back last week. He just absolutely made Revis look, embarrassed him, I think, with the routes he was running. I really liked the way everything worked out with that game last week against the Jets. And if you stopped the clock right now, Buffalo would be the number 6 team, and that would get them in the playoffs. But they got to keep it going. You can't just be number 6. That's the bottom thing. You can't go in there and lose to New England. So the question is, can they win the game? Absolutely. I think they can. Can they cover the spread? Well, obviously, taking +7, I think that's really great. Dion Lewis, I think he could have been making a difference for what Brady has to work with. Hit their replacements, 3.3 yards per carry last week. They have that makeshift offensive line that John mentioned. They allowed 3 sacks with that same line last week. Now, here's the one thing that drives me nuts. How does Gronk always catch a ball right in the middle of the field, down about 30 yards, and there's not a player around him? That drives me nuts. What they got to do is they got to hit him at the line of scrimmage, and then they got to put that safety so he has time to come up after seeing where the routes are running, and then have him come almost like a spy or double team him. They got to take him out. They just got to take him out. They got to put 2 guys on him. You can't afford to lose a game with Gronk every single week. He's basically the only thing that separates them from being 9-0 and them from being maybe 7-2. Gronk just absolutely destroys you. I like the way that game went last week against the Giants. The Giants, that's their problem that they lost, but they did keep it close. They were right in there, 27-26. I admired what Brady did. Who can't admire what he does? He finds a way to win. I don't know how he finds a way to win half the time. That 4th down and 10 and keeps it going. And then they got the greatest field goal kicker ever in the history. I think he's 21 out of 21 for field goals and 17 out of 17 for extra points, or maybe vice versa. I don't think he's missed a kick, and he just continues to set records. But as far as this game, I think it's going to be a seesaw battle. I think it's going to be down in the trenches. It's probably going to remind me of the old style when the old Minnesota Vikings used to play the Chicago Bears. It was in the just down in the trenches, and it was just a blue bath of hitting each other and pounding the turf. And I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game this week. Something tells me that it's going to be one of those 20-17 contests, and you're just going to be, hanging on the edge of your chair the entire game. So I'm taking Buffalo plus the points.
Well, the winds we're looking at is about 5 to 10 miles an hour, but at times 10 to 20, and that's something to keep an eye on, and that'll help Buffalo in that their running game has really been going well of late. Patriots are one of 2 undefeated teams in the NFL, 1 in each conference, but let's face it, they were very lucky to win that game against the Giants. Just a phenomenal game on Sunday, back and forth. And while their offense is 1 and 2 in the NFL in yards and points, Brady is still having a phenomenal season. You have to wonder about the injuries that have been taking its toll, not just the offensive line. Now Edelman is out, as well as Dion Lewis from the previous week. And if you saw Brady in that game, he didn't have Edelman late in the game, so he had to throw that quick pass at the line of scrimmage to the goal line to Brandon LaFell. Normally it's Edelman, and he threw it behind him, so you have to wonder about the timing with him. And then on that final drive, he threw a ball that should have been intercepted by Landon Collins, the rookie safety, and he just botched it. So they're very lucky to get that win. With that said, this Patriot defense is kind of under the radar. They've been playing great all season. A lot of young players, a lot of depth and talent. And despite injuries, the depth has come through. They're 13th in yards, number 4 in the NFL in points. So it's a surprisingly stout unit. So, Zach, how do you look at this rivalry Monday night matchup?
I think you have to look back to week 2 and just see that there's a lot of reversals going on here. That week 2, there was people backing the Buffalo Bills. I think the spread was 2.5 for the Patriots, and then it went down to a pick 'em or Bills -1 at kickoff. I was at the book that day, just astounded by that. But you have a reversal of health. At the time, LaShawn McCoy had a hamstring injury. Afterwards, Tyrod Taylor's been hurt. Sammy Watkins was hurt. Now you've got the Patriots with injuries. Obviously, Dion Lewis is out. Julian Edelman out. Brady looked a little bit uncomfortable he was pressured more than I've seen in the last 2 months or this season. The Giants got after him. They were hitting him, and he looked very uncomfortable with his accuracy throughout that game. So how do we see that spread swing to this 8.5-point difference with the health issues of the Patriots and with the play of the Buffalo Bills finally regaining their confidence? I don't think that's a good line movement there, and I think you have to back the Buffalo Bills with a 7.5 points. Is it their time to lose yet, the Patriots? I don't think so, but one thing I did notice with that game earlier in the season, Tyrod Taylor was very uncomfortable playing that up-tempo pace that the New England was bringing to him. But once, I think it was like midway through the third quarter, he started to feel comfortable. He got into his zone, and all of a sudden they were back into that game. But since the line was so small, New England had no problem covering that game. But Tyrod Taylor got comfortable, and I think he'll bring some of that confidence into this game. The Bills have a lot riding on keeping their momentum going, as Hollis said. Potential 6th seed right now. They need to keep winning games to sustain that edge over maybe the Texans, whoever's second in that AFC North. Well, not the AFC North, AFC South, and then, of course, the Jets, who are still on their tail. So I think you've got to back the Bills here, especially with the way the running game is looking with McCoy and Williams.
What's the over and under in that game?
48.5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Bills have not had a lot of success. 10-22-1 against the spread against the Patriots. On the other hand, the road team is 15-6 ATS when these teams meet, and the dog is 5-1 ATS. This is going to be a fascinating chess match between Ryan and Belichick, because in that earlier meeting you mentioned 40-32 shootout. One thing that surprised me was Ryan didn't really bring the blitz that game, and everybody thought that's what was going to happen. He kind of stayed back. And he gave up 40 points without blitzing. I think he reverses it for this game. I think he sends a lot of guys. And why wouldn't you, with the problems that the Patriots have had with this offensive line? A Giants team that couldn't get after the passer at all did exceptionally well, getting 3 sacks and rushing Brady quite a few times. So that's going to be an interesting, different dynamic this time around. I'm going to have to look at a high-scoring game here with a total of 48.5. It's kind of low it's medium for any NFL game. But he's talking about the Patriots, who don't play a conservative game. They come out right off the bat going for the jugular. They love to get early leads. We saw it on Sunday against the Giants, up quickly on the first drive. And when you do that, it can change the whole tempo of a game. And if you're looking for totals, that's what you want. You want even a conservative team, a running team like Buffalo. They get behind 10-0. Well, they have to bring out the playbook, go more up-tempo, and you can have a lot more scoring. You got a Patriot team that at home, 37-18 over the total, and when these teams meet, like that earlier game, 5-1 over the total. So I do think Rex Ryan unleashes the blitz, unlike that first meeting. I also think this total is ripe for a Monday night game going over. All right, let's tell you how what we have going on for the weekend. Harvard, your numbers speak for themselves with these rare 10-star plays, these high roller releases. 18-6 now in football for the season. That is 75%. Plus, your 3 for the monies have been on a tear as well.
Well, 64% on the 3 for the money. And you know what? A 66-game sample at 42-24. 66-game sample, and you're still 64%. very few people even get into the 60% for the year, and we're 2/3 through that. 75% on my 10-star plays. That speaks for itself. I'm sure you guys are waiting to hear that I announced that I lost my high roller game of the year last week. You know what? I don't have to defend anything. A loss is a loss. I couldn't overcome 2 quick back-to-back scores. But my team, Kansas State, they scored 44 points. So you know what? I was in the game. Anytime you can find a handicapper that gives you a +5 underdog and they're going to give you 44 points on the field, I say, hey, you know what? He did his job whether he won or lost. And then the sign of a good handicapper is, well, okay, fine. He lost on Saturday. What did he do on Sunday? I came right back. Washington Redskins, my 10-star play, they scored 47 points. So here I split for Saturday and Sunday, but my 2 underdogs managed to score 91 total points. That shows something about my handicapping. I'm not trying to brag or anything like that. 75% is bragging enough. But I got 2 games coming up this weekend, both Saturday, both 10-star plays. And you know what? I don't even want you to bet them separate. It's a 2-team. It's my parlay of the year. One of them I know 100% is a favorite. That's absolutely the dog won't even show up. I know that for a fact. So the worst you could do if you purchased it would be splitting. We're not splitting. We're going 2-0. I'm telling you right now, it's my parlay of the year. Just go ahead to jimfeist.com and go in there daily also, because I'm going to have that 888 NBA plays, build your bankroll. College is going hard. We'll be rocking and rolling on that. And like I said, remember to check for the rule changes, free throw shooters, the MAC conference, things like that. Little tips if you can get a couple plays on your own. Hey, more power to you. But make sure you get on that 2-team, 2-game college parlay of the year coming up this Saturday.
All right, you are the parlay king for this weekend. And Zach, your record numbers speak for themselves. Let me just read them. College football, 35-22. NFL, 25-14. You have a winning record in college hoops early on, 6-4. In the NBA, 22-11. How can folks get your play every day?
Jimfeist.com, as Hollis mentioned. It's kind of weird to get the plays up consistently, but I'm going to do a better job at that. And especially with the NFL and college football, I should be able to get those up maybe by Thursday now to finish out the season instead of Friday night. But watch out for those college basketballs. Those are going to be a slew of packs, 4 or 5 games, maybe 3, but there'll be 3 to 5 games in college hoops pretty much every week.
All right, and Jim Feist enjoyed the weekend with his college football game of the year. That was Arkansas State, 14-point favorite that wins 59-21. Love those smaller schools that can be huge emotional and wagering values, and Jim found it on that. Jim has his rivalry game of the year in college football going this weekend. You can get that at jimfeist.com or just call 1-855-846-7426. All right, that'll do it for the NFL/basketball version of ProLine. Good luck with the games, everyone, and we'll see you next week.